Okay, people, the debate rages on. This is a little bit old, but I really want to hammer on this point, okay? People talk to me a lot about Jimmy Dore. I've watched a fair number of Jimmy Dore videos, you know? And while I disagree with a lot of the stuff he says, I don't necessarily think that, like, disagreeing over strategy is indicative of some, like, massive underlying problem. I don't claim to be the avatar of all left good strategy. I'm lying right now. I do claim that. I do claim that mantle. But, with regards to Jimmy Dore, so we have this whole kerfuffle with AOC, and I feel like there are two discussions to be had here, okay? One of these discussions is about the plan. And the plan is that AOC and the rest of the squad in Congress withhold their vote for Pelosi for the speakership role unless she puts a Medicare for All vote out there to be voted on. And I think this is a really dumb plan for a number of reasons. There are a lot of arguments here that don't really work. Maybe I'll get into them as I talk about Jimmy Dore, but there are people who I have some respect for, or people that I can agree with at times, who believe in this plan. Like Kyle Kulinski, for example. I disagree with Kyle Kulinski on this, but I'm not going to, like, go hard against him because I think that Kyle Kulinski has good intentions when it comes to the future of the left. I do believe that. But not everybody, I think, has good intentions. So I want to talk about Jimmy Dore. I want to talk about this clip. This clip's a little old. It's from December 17th. It's a little compilation. It's a little highlight video. And I wanted to show you guys this. And I want you to ask yourself this genuine question as you watch it with me. And it's that, is this guy an ally?
And this is to keep you from health care. That's what this is. This is to keep you from health care because she's a gutless wonder who will not do what she promised. And you don't get her to do what you want her to do by being fucking nice to her. You get her to do what she's supposed to do by ripping her to shreds, which is what I'm doing right fucking now because she has it coming. And it's not just her. They all do. She's the only one engaging on Twitter, which is why she's getting it. What it takes.
So the issue that I have with this is that Jimmy Dore doesn't talk this way about anybody else. Right now, AOC and the squad are the most left-leaning people in American government. They are. And they're the most left-leaning people that have been in American government for a long time. So I want to say right off the bat, there's nothing wrong with challenging or criticizing very left-leaning people in government at all. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't have a problem with that. I think you should challenge your leaders, even if they're people who are relatively on your side. The issue that I have is that Jimmy Dore, wait, hold on. You're attacking the messenger, Vosh, not the message. Don't get distracted. No. You misunderstand. We're attacking the messenger right now, Vasilijan. That is what we're attacking. He doesn't talk this way about anybody else. Jimmy Dore, I've seen Jimmy Dore's coverage of Trump. Jimmy Dore is one of those people who was constantly downplaying how threatening Trump would be because it owns the libs. Jimmy Dore was one of those people who would constantly be, libs are hysterical. They're hysterical about Trump. They have Trump derangement syndrome. He actually uses this term, Trump derangement syndrome. He is persistently, I would almost argue, conciliatory to the Trump administration on certain points. When he went on Tucker Carlson and pleaded with Trump like a good little boy. And then he comes here and he says he's ripping AOC to shreds because AOC doesn't want to engage in a harebrained strategy that has literally zero chance at procuring any positive results for anybody.
Takes his courage from gutless wonders like you, AOC, you fucking phony, and you're revealing yourself.
Fucking phony.
And I am just writing it down. We are you're doing it, and we're marking it. This is her outing herself as a gaslighting motherfucker because
I don't know, but this isn't just about Jimmy Dore. I don't think anyone online knows what gaslighting means. Just so you guys know, gaslighting doesn't mean lying or saying a thing you don't like. Gaslighting is when you persistently lie to an individual to make them doubt their perception of reality. Okay? A lot of people online misuse gaslight. I don't know why Gaslighting is when you fart in front of a lighter. Yeah, I don't. People misuse the fuck out of this term. It's crazy.
You're broken.
Whew.
Because you're corrupted and co-opted. And now we got to lay on you as hard as we can. Everybody's...
Listen to this shit. He doesn't talk this way about anybody else. He exclusively relegates this kind of ire to the Democratic Party, which, I mean, if you're talking about Pelosi or Weinstein or whatever, okay, fine. I don't care if you're mad at those people. But AOC? Corrupted and broken. Because you don't see the point in trying to blackmail the Democratic Party to put forward a Medicare for All vote that has 0% chance of taking place. Didn't Jimmy Dore harass Francesco Fiorentini? Yeah, I saw like leaked DMs of that where Jimmy Dore was being like really fucking like kind of crazy in DMs or something like that. I mean, he looks kind of crazy here, but it gets worse, believe it or not.
He sees through you. Everybody sees through you. You don't think people...
Oh, by the way, that line right there. Everybody sees through you. Okay, so I want you guys to imagine you're a content creator for a second, because this is something that I think about very often, okay? What is the point of making an argument in a public space, okay? When you say something like, everyone sees through you, you're not talking to AOC, you're talking to your audience. Everyone knows that, right? Any time you're talking about like a politician or any large public figure, a celebrity, and you address them, you're actually talking to your audience. So when you say stuff like, everybody sees through you, in my mind, and this could just be my bias, he comes off like a fucking televangelist. He comes off like somebody who is relying on performative denunciation to do the work for him without having to actually front any of the arguments. And that gives me really weird vibes. Sometimes Jimmy Dore does make arguments, and, you know, I like responding to arguments when they're made, but stuff like this, yeah, this is relying, yeah, exactly, Rave Dubin, this is relying on emotional responses from your audience to do the work for you. And if you're relying on that, I don't know why you would have to. That probably means you don't have anything of substance to back up your claim. Not only that, but frankly, it makes you sound like a raving fucking lunatic.
See you? You don't think people see what you're doing? You don't think everyone knows that you got your start on my show? You don't think everyone knows what you are now?
You heard it here, folks. AOC got her start on the Jimmy Dore show. What a fucking megalomaniac. The fucking ego, dude. Holy shit. She did, though? No, she went on his show. That doesn't mean she... AOC put an insane amount of work, like doing door-to-door canvassing, like knocking, doing calls. She definitely worked for her fucking Congress seat. Trust me, guys. Going on the Jimmy Dore show does not just grant you a Congress seat, okay? The AOC Jimmy Dore interview has 80,000 views. Jesus Christ. That's less views. That's like a third of the views of Destiny's interview with fucking Joshua from Congress in Washington 10. Okay? 80,000 views? Oh yeah, dude. That totally broke the back of... What's her district? Was it New York 3? What's her district? Oh yeah, that was the fucking... The bedrock. New York 14. Thank you very much. Yeah. This is like a peasant playing at a kingmaker, and it's really weird to watch. Internet celebrities do not play that much influence when it comes to electoral results. We, internet people, Jimmy Dore, myself, we influence a very, very marginal proportion of the population. And if you want to look at that, take a look at how successful online personalities have been in translating their success into actual electoral results. Remember Cenk in California? It tends not to work that well, because being popular online, it doesn't mean you're going to get people to fucking vote for you. Vosh, you sound salty like a simp who your goddess called at, and you sound like a 14-year-old who still thinks of politics as a game of sports. Like, you can't hear legitimate criticisms of Jimmy Dore without, like, saying simp of the person that Jimmy Dore is ineptly failing to criticize, okay?
Some people are having a hard time actually admitting it to themselves, but they know. They know.
The little chuckle. Jesus, it's so fucking weird.
These are just regular people outing AOC left and fucking right. She's got 10 million sycophants, and she's still getting owned on fucking Twitter. 10 million followers she has. 10 million. And she can't force a Medicare for all vote?
What the fuck is he talking about? I'm ratioing her on Twitter. She's got lots of Twitter followers, and there are people who are disagreeing with her on Twitter. She's got 10 million Twitter followers, and she can't pass Medicare for all? I'm sorry, my dude, Jimmy Dore. I don't know how you think the American government works, but having Twitter followers actually has literally no relationship. Could Kanye pass Medicare for all? I'm pretty sure he has more. I think Elon Musk has 30 million Twitter followers. You tell me Elon Musk can't snap his fingers and just instantly make Medicare for all happen? I think Biden has, like, how many does Biden have? Like 20, 25 million?
She is not fighting for you, and she's doing it again. She's fucking gaslighting you into thinking you can't have a vote on Medicare for all, and she is doing it at the top of her lungs. And go on Twitter and fucking give it to her.
Yeah,
we're gonna fucking haunt you.
Oh, and there's Socialist MMA, my favorite fucking impossibly stupid dipshit who came on here and embarrassed himself for 30 minutes. Or was it an hour? Time failed to have any meaning. But you know what kind of company we're in. Socialist MMA is a Jimmy Dore stand, so it all follows together. Like,
we are not letting you off the hook. And we'll primary your ass if you don't fucking do this.
Yeah, dude. You'll primary AOC, the most popular politician in the fucking Oh, yeah, dude. You'll primary her. Good luck. Maybe you should run. I think you should run. You should spend your own money on the campaigning, too. Would you just buy a $2 million house in LA? You should spend your own money on it. To be fair, $2 million in LA, I'm pretty sure, is like a shack.
Point. We could have Joe Crowley not do Medicare for all, or we could have you not do Medicare for all. We could have Joe Crowley vote with Nancy Pelosi, or we could have you vote with Nancy Pelosi. She's saying we're going to make it harder for them. Oh, we're going to make it harder for you, AOC. We're going to make it harder for you.
Yeah. I just need to be perfectly clear about this, okay? And I'm going to speak a little bit, I guess, harshly. Jimmy Dore doesn't give a fuck about you or your struggles. Jimmy Dore is an online brand who is manufacturing controversy because he can make more money now from distinguishing himself from the squad. Jimmy Dore is, and always has, made his marker by being aggressive and antagonistic. And now that people like AOC are actually making substantive change and getting real wins within the Democratic Party, it is no longer his interest in aligning himself with them. So he aligns himself with contrarian dipshits like Tulsi Gabbard, who, by the way, isn't for Medicare for all, and when she announced she wasn't, Jimmy Dore defended her. That's interesting, considering the fact that he's now saying he wants to primary AOC, not for being anti-Medicare for all, by the way, but for not wanting to force a vote in it by blackmailing the Democratic Party to no avail. That is something that warrants primarying AOC. But Tulsi not supporting Medicare for all? Oh, well, whatever. Just, it's for pragmatic purposes. I've actually heard him talk about that. If I remember correctly, he was like, well, by Tulsi Gabbard not supporting Medicare for all, she's tactically avoiding the criticisms that Republicans will make, saying she's for Medicare for all. It's like, oh, wow. Dude, that's crazy. That's amazing, dude. You can, so just any position that Tulsi Gabbard holds that you would otherwise disagree with, you could just be like, oh, do we have live video footage of Jimmy Dore backing off that point? Oh, here we go. Back when Jimmy saw merits in compromising on the basic premise of Medicare for all to appease the private insurance industry, when Tulsi backed out of her support for the House bill, the very one he's pushing for the floor vote right now. Oh,
say what for all now? You seem to be not wanting to outlaw private insurance, more like say what works in Australia. That's right. Now I'm very familiar. I've been to Australia. I know how their system works. So that to me is 1,000% improvement. That certainly is still Medicare for all, but you still are a firm supporter of Medicare for all. You just have a little bit, and it's not.
The term Medicare for all has become something so ambiguous and meaning something different to so many other people.
No, not
so
really.
There's two things about her healthcare plan. One, the beauty of it is that it takes away the right-wing talking point. Most people are for single payer, but they can talk them out of it or scare people with how they couch it. And so Tulsi's approach takes that talking point away. It takes the talk.
You see, People might criticize you for supporting Medicare for all. So Tulsi's approach of not supporting Medicare for all actually helps her. He's actually making an optics argument. When he's saying that AOC should throw all of her political effectiveness on the table in order to force a meaningless vote for Medicare for all for a virtue signal, he's saying that it's okay for her to not support Medicare for all, for Tulsi to not support Medicare for all because of optics.
Talking point away of, hey, they're going to take away your health care. They're going to take away your health care. They're going to make it illegal for you to get private health insurance, and then the government's going to run in. And so that takes away all that because they're not outlawing private health insurance.
Yeah, which means it's not Medicare for all. Again, there's a lot of stuff like this. You can go back through Jimmy Dore's history if you want, but he is, for example, somebody linked this in chat earlier, back when Carlos Maza was beefing with Steven Crowder over Steven Crowder calling Maza like a fag, basically, in a fairy and sending thousands of people to harass him. I'm pretty sure Jimmy Dore made fun of Carlos Maza for wanting to like censor YouTube. He's promoted a number of conspiracy theories. He was one of those people who dismissed the Russiagate thing entirely, saying that it was a Democrat manufactured bullshit. Yeah, is it true? This actually, somebody in chat said this. Is it true he didn't support Bernie Sanders in 2020 because Bernie Sanders wouldn't go on a show? Is that true? The only reason that he didn't support Bernie Sanders was because he wouldn't make him money by going on a show? Is that actually true? Wow, that's actually incredible. You'd think that if he's that open with his grift, people would realize this by now. But no, guys, Jimmy Dore isn't a fucking ally. Even if you agree with his plan to like do this stupid bullshit that won't work, even if you actually believe that, Jimmy Dore is, in addition to being a fucking moron, not a leftist. He's not even a socialist. Why are there socialists who defend Jimmy Dore? He's literally not even a socialist. There are a lot of like stupid poll types that do the same thing with Michael Tracy. Michael Tracy's not even remotely left-leaning. And neither is Jimmy Dore. I mean, Jimmy Dore doesn't like cops. I guess that's nice. Jimmy Dore criticized the Dems. But like, I don't hear Jimmy Dore talking very affirmatively about any of the serious substantive changes he wants to make to society. You know? Which is a little bit weird because I thought that was what socialists were all about. Why is it that socialists will throw people under the bus for not being far left enough unless that person is sufficiently anti-woke? In which case it's okay if they're not far left enough because at least they're doing the due diligence of criticizing the most left-leaning political people we have in Congress right now. If you want to go into Jimmy Dore's comment section, you'll find a fuck ton of Republicans, and that's because his channel is and always has been about making money off of distinguishing himself from the Democrats. He's a pick-me, is what he is. He's on the left, but all he does is criticize Democrats. That's his entire fucking job, so that other people who don't like the Democrats, who you'll find are mostly conservatives, or at the very least, not our political allies. Because if you don't even support the Democrats against the Republicans, how can you possibly lay claim to any progressive struggle? And then he just makes money from that distinction, you know? And that's that. Pretty sure AOC is more left than Jimmy Dore. AOC is objectively more to the left of Jimmy Dore. Apparently, the only reason he supports Medicare for all in this particular instance is because it's giving him more money off the drama he's manufacturing from stirring up shit with AOC. I'm glad that AOC and the other Justice Dems, their political instincts have evolved. I remember 2 years ago, 3 years ago, there were some, every once in a while, it felt like they'd get into a beef they didn't need to get into. There was some variance. Sometimes like AOC would do something and I think, is that really it? No politician is perfect. I mean, for God's sake, you should, criticize whoever you can. But she's gotten better. And the thought of there being leftists online who were legitimately changing their position on the most left-leaning people in government because of the positions of Jimmy fucking Dore, who's been a clown show his entire career, by the way. Like, this isn't new. Like, his whole career has been this contrarian grifting. He has good takes from time to time, but that doesn't mean he's not a contrarian grifter. Spitting on Alex Jones, that's a good take. That doesn't mean he's not a contrarian grifter. And the whole identifying as a comedy show thing, I mean, I think that really cinches it right there. Because any time you fuck up politically, you can always fall back. Oh, no, I'm just trying to get a reaction, We know why he does what he does, folks. Jimmy Dore, 844,000 subscribers. How many views? How many views are we getting off this? Actually, not as many as I expected. Well, okay, well. Maybe he needs to grift harder. I was expecting like a 500,000 view video or something like that. Bernie on forcing the vote for Medicare for all. Wait, what is Bernie's perspective on this? Actually, don't know. Uh-oh.
Hello, you pain in the ass. How may I help you?
It's a meme. It's a meme. Somebody's doing it. Okay, I don't care. All right, well, it's a meme video. Yep, okay, well. A prank call video. Oh, okay, yeah, well. Prank call video, yeah, comedy show. Prank call videos aside, yeah, just... You know what? You know what? Fuck it. I'll stir up the hornet's nest, okay? Listen, the reason why forcing the vote is bad is for a couple of reasons. So the argument that's being raised right now is that AOC and the rest of the Justice Dem should do this so they can force a vote to see who's really our allies. First of all, like, more than half of the Democrats in the House have openly said they don't support Medicare for all. We already have a huge list of people who aren't our allies with regards to Medicare for all, okay? Why the fuck would you engage in this ploy to get a list of names when we already know who we don't support? Like, we already have this. And why the fuck would AOC trade any political effectiveness for a vote that she knows isn't going to work? When people say ignoring a Medicare for all vote during a health crisis, you're a fucking clown, bro, okay? You're a fucking clown. First of all, there is 0% chance of Medicare for all passing. Even if for some fucking reason every single Democrat got behind it and passed through the House, it's not getting through the Senate. So I don't know why the fuck you would waste your time arguing. There are actually people saying that, like, it's heartless, those who are saying AOC is justified in not forcing this vote because we're in the middle of a pandemic. Bro, it's not getting passed. It's not happening. The best you're hoping for is a virtue signal. And by the way, even if for some fucking reason the House and the Senate both passed the Medicare for all legislation, do you think it would be implemented in time to address the pandemic? We're already rolling out vaccines. Do you have any idea how long it's going to take to roll out Medicare for all? This is like a incredibly substantial. Actually, 50.64% of Democrats have co-sponsored Medicare for all. Oh, well, that's still not half the House, though, is it? It would need to be almost every Democrat, wouldn't it? Unless you think Republicans are going to join on board. But okay, more than half. That's nice. Medicare for all is like an incredibly substantial, like, groundbreaking piece of legislation. It's not going to get implemented in a couple of months. In fact, I'm pretty sure, yeah, Bernie Sanders' Medicare for all plan has a multi-year public option transition plan. Unironically, Bernie Sanders' plan includes a transition period where we have a government healthcare option, and then we slowly consolidate everything into that while we dissolve private healthcare. This stuff would take years. And if you want a public option, which is the only thing you'd be able to get from an immediate vote for Medicare for all, Biden wants a public option. So there's no point. So stop bringing up the argument that it's in the middle of a pandemic. You're not helping people with a pandemic, okay? You're virtue signaling, all right? This is a virtue signal. You're literally saying, why don't we trade political effectiveness so we can find out who doesn't support us? You can already find out who doesn't support us. Maybe some people say they support us, and it turns out they're not actually going to. Who the fuck cares? We already have lists of people who say they're not going to support us and who don't support us. Do you think there are people who say they don't support us who are then magically going to support us in a virtue signal vote for Medicare for all? Okay? It's not going to happen. There's no benefit, all right? Holy shit. It's so fucking weird. People talk about this like this is the threshold of, like, political advocacy for Medicare for all. Guys, we're not getting Medicare for all anytime in the next 4 years, okay? It's not happening. I'm really sorry. You can believe, if you want to, that this is me being conciliatory and a moderate and I'm a Pelosi stan or whatever. It's not happening, okay? It's never going to happen in the next 4 years. It's impossible for it to happen. We had a referendum on this. Bernie Sanders lost. Biden won. That's it. We can do other things. We can make other advocacies for the public good. It's not going to happen, okay? Stop. It's not going to happen. Bosh Shapiro, I'm not talking that fast, okay? Chill out. You just had me on 1.25, okay? Chill the fuck out, all right? Guys, I understand that sucks, but, like, you realize that even getting a public option would be a huge step forward for this country, right? I don't like Biden's plan either, but there are a lot of people, Jimmy Dore fans, they'll say, oh, wow, you really like the public option, don't you? No, just realize when you've lost. As far as I'm concerned, the only good advocacy for progressivism is advocacy which works. If it doesn't work, it's not good. I don't know. There are so many people that are like, I do what I want on principle. Okay, sure, bro. All right. Fantastic. I mean, I've gone through this analogy before, and I know it doesn't fucking matter because all the Jimmy Dore fans will have already downvoted or disliked this video. It doesn't matter. I know, by the way, what responses Jimmy Dore fans get, or the critics of Jimmy Dore get for all the videos and tweets and stuff. There are so many people who, on Twitter, who have been getting fucking dogpiled by Jimmy Dore fans. So fucking infuriating, dude. They're all so goddamn stupid. And, like, everybody associated with Tulsi Gabbard, she's like She's like a fucking IQ black hole. It's insane. And now Tulsi Gabbard, by the way, Tulsi Gabbard now passing turf legislation and pro-life legislation. And not a word from Jimmy Dore, by the way. Not a word from Jimmy Dore. No criticism.